I'll go right.
And the foul, he does it again. And he's got his fourth straight 20-point game. Beal inside the lane, threw it behind him. Here comes Barrett. One man to beat, it's Beal. Barrett inside, he's fouled and one. R.J. Barrett with a chance for a three-point play. Burks finds Randall. Randall in the corner. Harris all over him. Randall step back three, puts it up. Shot, it's good! It's good! Randall gets the bounce, and he ties the game with 5.1 remaining.
Yeah. Oh, man, oh, man. Here we go again, baby. What a rough game offensively. This shit has been crazy this afternoon. Rainy day in New York City. What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy, Marcellus Ease. And I definitely got to say, man, it's about time we panic. I usually say don't panic quite yet, but damn. But we got a few things on the docket, man. We're going to talk about the Knicks Game 4, of course. Your thoughts. We're going to talk about the issue with starting Derrick Rose, inserting him into that lineup. Does it have a trickle-down effect on the bench? Because in this game, we've seen that the bench didn't really have that spurt, that spark, because guys like, what's his name? Quickly just couldn't really get going. Like, we've seen other guys, just the bench looked different in this game, particularly in that second quarter. And we're going to also talk about what's going on with that Clippers-Mavericks series. Should Knicks fans pay close attention to that? Because if that shit goes left, Leon Rose could be making a possible move, man, to see, what's good with Kawhi or Paul George, or what's going on really over there. And also, we're going to talk about the TV ratings. They're finally in. The Sports Journal Business have reported that the Knicks, even with a 38% drop in ratings, they still had 2 times the ratings of the Brooklyn Nets, even though the Nets have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, some of the top faces in the NBA. These guys are heavily promoted, but yet the city has spoke its word, and they're definitely rocking with the Knicks. But definitely going to start off in your Game 4 thoughts. Phone lines is open. Check out the description. The number is in there to call. Let me know what you think. Game 4 thoughts. And it is what it is, man. Let me know your 2 cents.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
May 4th, what up, man? I don't know what you told me. You said you told them, but I don't know what you mean. Let me know in the chat. You said try to tell him. I don't know what you try to tell him, man. That Game 4 was crazy. It didn't really look good. But the Knicks got, of course, Derrick Rose was going early. Randall in that first quarter, they tried to get him going. He was 3-9, but at least Randall was making quicker decisions in this game. He wasn't, with that hesitation while guys crowded up the baseline or just crowded up the paint. It's just Randall this whole series. I couldn't say this game he was completely off. It's just nothing is in sync right now. Whether Randall's played good or bad, other guys that normally showed up in one game won't show up in the other. And especially on the defensive end in this game today, we just gave up a lot of threes. But overall, the Hawks, they did not shoot good in this game at all. They had about 1 more make shot than we did at halftime, but yet most of their makes was from 3-point range. And Trae Young, he didn't even have that crazy of a second half. But when you get guys like Brogdon and Gallinari going, of course it's going to be tough. But definitely, once again, phone lines are open. You guys, let me know what you think.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Yeah, just rough afternoon today, man. Just once again, the Knicks, they were in this game because the Hawks just wasn't really shooting good. But once again, just a combination of us giving them so many free throw attempts and then just us giving up so many 3-pointers. But they only had one more make shot than we did at halftime. Once again, we hit 27 shots in that first half. They hit 28. But when you look at their 3-pointers, most of their shots that were made came from 3-point range. And once again, this team, they of course have better talent than we do. They spent a lot more money this offseason in particular. But once again, the Knicks, is just certain things just didn't really come together in this series. And there is a trickle-down effect with Randall not playing good because, of course, a big part of his game this year was getting other guys involved, especially with the assist. But when you start guys like Derrick Rose, which Tibbs probably had no other option because the offense was so stagnant, there is going to be another trickle-down effect with that, not only affecting the bench, but also the Knicks offense can't really flow through Randall. Because if you look at the offense with Derrick Rose, just everything going through him, it was pretty much ISO and just Derrick Rose kind of doing him. But Randall, once again, his game all season has been getting other guys involved. But once again, topics on the dockets, we're going to talk about the Knicks Hawk, the Game 4 recap, and we're also going to talk about Leon Rose. Should he be looking at this Mavs Clippers series a little bit closer to see, if it goes left, are the Clippers going to bite on moving a guy like Paul George or possibly Kawhi? Because once again, they have a bunch of their role players locked in for long-term contracts, and they also traded away all their draft picks already. They're kind of stuck. So if this team doesn't work out, they're stuck with it, or they're going to be forced to trade some of their assets to get something back. And then we're also going to talk about the Sports Journal have reported that the Knicks pretty much have 2 times the TV ratings as the Brooklyn Nets. So in a season in which we all know the league promotes James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, New York City pretty much is spoken. And they're just, the city's definitely feeling the Knicks over the Brooklyn Nets. So you guys let me know your thoughts on that. Once again, don't be afraid to drop your 2 cents. The phone number is in the description. So let me know your thoughts.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Robert, the number is in the description. Check it out below. I don't think it's the wrong matchup, May 4th. Pretty much, we own this team this whole season. And it's just Randall's, just his lack of adjusting. And it could possibly be on Tibbs too. Tibbs should have adjusted a lot quicker and then letting the first 2 games go by just to see the way Randall performed. There should have been an adjustment there. I mean, we clearly seen once this game started today, there definitely was an adjustment because they ran things through Randall quick, and Randall was making a lot quicker decisions. He's either going to attack the hoop or he was going to make that initial pass. The only thing I don't like is that once Randall gets double teamed, other guys are not really making cuts. They're sort of doing like an outlet to the half court line. It's weird. They don't really make cuts to the basket. They kind of make cuts in the opposite direction. That's one thing I noticed. But once again, I want to also touch base today on the Mavs Clippers series. I want to know you guys' thoughts, because if that shit goes left, the Clippers don't really have that many options as far as players that they have on salary versus all the draft picks that they already gave up to get Paul George. They're kind of stuck in a hard place. And I'm not sure if you guys saw in that game, Steve Ballmer, he looked like he was sweating, man. He looked like he was sweating in that game. I don't know how the hell the Clippers were even down like that, being 0-2 and then letting that first quarter start off and then being down 15. That team looks very shaky to me, but it's possible. The fact that they're in a kind of in a tough position right now, maybe Leon Rose could get them phones working and we could possibly get a deal right there. May 4th, I understand the Hawks could shoot right over us, but at the end of the day, they really haven't played a crazy offense this whole series. They had spurts, of course, where their, shots went in. But if you look at this game, their offense wasn't nothing crazy. Is that when you have the type of shooting and scoring that we've been producing, of course, it looks crazier than what it really is. But if we just had more efficiency from other guys, even if Randall probably got like 18 points in this game, if we just got scoring elsewhere, I think that them starting Derrick Rose, it just took away from that bench. Our bench to this evening was pretty much bulimic. I didn't see anything coming from there. And we definitely need more.
We want more. We need more.
And May 4th, I'm not sure if you remember that 9-0 run in that second quarter. It's just the bench came in, and unlike game 3, the bench was a spark in game 3, but in game 4, there was no spark at all. I mean, just that 9-0 run, and then, we got a few baskets here and there, but pretty much you seen it in Brogdon, especially. He was gaining confidence because after that first quarter, he wasn't really doing anything. And then after him and Gallo started making shots in that 9-0 run, they started getting confident, man. And that's another thing about Gallo I meant to mention. I don't understand how Randall in the first 2 games had one-on-one matchups with Gallo, and he couldn't take him on. Something was off, man. I'm telling you. It's just, I don't know if it was in Randall's head, but the fact that he wasn't taking it to the rack against Gallo is crazy to me. But once again, the number is in the description below. You guys definitely check it out. Let me know what you think. And don't be afraid of dropping your 2 cents.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Yeah, May 4th, I understand Gallo is big, but at the end of the day, has Gallo ever been known of stopping anybody? I mean, think about it. At the end of our season, especially the way it ended and especially the way Julius Randle played all year, were you ever going to say a guy like Gallinari would stop him? I mean, just forget Gallo. We talking about they had Gallo, Brogdon, and Trae Young on the floor in the first 2 games, all at the same time for long periods of time. That's a bad defensive lineup. And the fact that our offense was so stagnant, that was a major red flag right there, man. Very unfortunate, but I was hoping, Randall was going to make adjustments, not let this shit get to his head. I definitely liked the way he was more assertive today, but if we can't take advantage of a bad defensive lineup like that, things are not going to be looking too good later on in the series. I mean, they have Capella and I think DeAndre, I forgot his name, DeAndre something, DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter is more of a good defensive player, but I mean, he's like a 2-way player, really, 3-and-D guy. But I mean, yeah, the Knicks are quite small at the moment, especially with Nerlens Noel having that ankle issue, and then of course Mitchell Robinson not playing. Do you think this series would be different if Mitchell Robinson had been playing, especially with Trae Young doing that little floater bullshit that he does when he goes in the lane, he stutters, he tries to get a foul, and then he just throws up a floater? Once again, the number is in the description below. You guys definitely can give me a call. Let me know what's your 2 cents, and let me know what's on your mind.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
May 4th, why is that? Why would you think Mitch is the reason why we lose a lot of these games? Because he's gotten a lot better this particular season when it comes to his pump faking, him getting caught, getting fouls quickly. He got a lot better with that. Once again, the call-in info is in the description below. The topics on the docket, we're going to talk about the Knicks-Hawks Game 4 and just, your thoughts on it. And also, we're going to talk about Derrick Rose being inserted into the starting lineup. Did it actually take away from the Knicks bench? And also, did it affect that free-flowing offense that we've seen work successfully all season with the Knicks, especially going through Julius Randle? And then we're also going to touch base on the Mavs-Clippers series. If that series begins to go left for the Clippers, should the Knicks and Leon Rose make a move? And also, the Sports Journal Business had reported that the Knicks had 2 times the ratings of the Brooklyn Nets this season. So has New York City spoken on who's their favorite team? So once again, the number is in the description below. You guys let me know what you think. Don't be afraid to drop your 2 cents.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
It took him 3 years to set a real screen. That's crazy. That's what you think? 3 years set for Mitchell Robinson to set a real screen. That is nuts. Yo, he wouldn't be in the league if it took him that long to get that shit. Especially as a 2nd round pick. So May 4th, let me ask you, do you think they'll renew Mitchell Robinson's contract, or they'll just give him the minimum and let him walk next year as an unrestricted free agent? I don't think we could have traded Mitchell Robinson because I feel like his value is not really known. We possibly could have been, undercut with him just being a potential prospect. There's too much potential with him, but there's no like sure cut proof. You know what I'm saying? I believe he has more value on a expiring contract or on the minimal contract that he potentially could earn next year. Now that could be a possibility. The Warriors will be looking to move Wiseman. That's because he does not fit in with Stephen Curry at all. There's a reason why Stephen Curry went off when Wiseman got injured. It's the system Golden State runs. They don't really need a kind of a big man that's kind of offensive minded like Wiseman. But I do like that move. That would be a good trade. But let me ask you this. If things go left with the Clippers, would Leon Rose be willing to include RJ Barrett in a possible move to get perhaps Kawhi or even Paul George? Because the Clippers, once again, they traded away all their draft picks. They're kind of locked into their role players. This is it for them. So it's either they're going to trade away their star players to get assets back, or they're just going to stick with the team that they got. Once again, the phone number is in the description below. You guys definitely check in. Let me know what you're thinking. And hold your heads up high. Ain't nothing to be ashamed about. But we got a lot to talk about tonight. This Game 4 recap. And just what's going on with the Knicks. Does Derrick Rose fit in with the starting lineup? Does it take away too much from the bench? And does it take away from that free-flowing offense that kind of ran through a lot smoother, especially for the role players through Randall? We're also going to talk about the Knicks and the TV ratings, them outdoing the Brooklyn Nets, and also the Clippers-Mavericks series. Should the Knicks pay a lot? Well, should Leon Rose pay a lot closer attention to what's going on over there and possibly make a move to get one of the assets that they got, either Paul George or Kawhi Leonard? Once again, phone lines are open. Check out the description below to get the info on that. You guys let me know what you think.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Hey, May 4th, ain't nothing wrong with the eye test, man. The eye test is usually the best test right now because the issue with the analytics is that you could pull up analytics and manipulate the numbers to show any piece of information you wanted to show. That's why if you look in the past 2 years, they've been telling you you need the 3-point shot. But if you look at the past two champions, they're not really 3-point shooting teams in the Toronto Raptors and the LA Lakers. More defensive-minded teams that take mid-range jump shots, and they're pretty much the champions in the last 2 years. But in those 2 years, we've been told, hey, it's 3-point shots or layups, and that's pretty much not the case. So yeah, your eye test is it's proven to be the best test so far. Because I'm still waiting for the analytic guys to win a NBA championship. And the Golden State Warriors, best believe, that was an organization at the time. They had Jerry West. They had a lot of people with championship pedigree working in there. And they got Steve Kerr, who's a 6-time, I believe 7-time champion. So a lot of championship pedigree over there. They did use analytics to a degree, but it wasn't their main, tool in their tool bag. They definitely played defense, and they utilized all aspects of the offensive game. Of course, they were killing with the 3-point shots, but they did take a lot of mid-range shots too. Guys like Harrison Barnes was killing with the mid-range jumper. But once again, the phone lines are open. Definitely check out the link in the description below. And you guys let me know what you think. And definitely, man, we trying to get this series back into the Garden. Because Trae Young, man, he's a little bit too spicy for me, man. We want to get his ass. We got to drop a little case on him.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay, all right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
Shea Legacy, that's interesting. You're saying Kawhi is a free agent this summer? I'm surprised he didn't re-up already with the Clippers to get that money. Me personally, I don't think Kawhi is leaving that easily because his family, clearly he wants to be closer to them. And also, he's already rejected the money once by leaving Toronto, so he probably asked out over $70 million. So for him to reject the money twice, he's probably going to be looking at $140 million plus as career losses. So I'm not sure if he's just willing to walk away once again. But definitely hit up the line. The number is in the description below. Lines are open. And you guys let me know what you think, man. There's a few things on the docket. We're going to do the Game 4 recap. We're also going to talk about the Clips Mavericks series. Should the Knicks go after Kawhi or possibly Paul George in a possible trade with the Clippers because they have no other options. They're pretty much locked in. And we'll also talk about D Rose. Does him starting in the lineup take away from Julius Randle, or does he even take away from the Knicks bench having that spark? So once again, phone lines are open. You guys let me know what you think.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Once again, phone lines are open. You guys let me know what you think. What's your thoughts on Game 4? We're also going to talk about the Clips in the Mavs series. Should the Knicks pay a lot closer attention to it? Should Leon Rose possibly make a move if that series goes left? And also Derrick Rose, man, him starting in the lineup. Does it take away from Julius Randle, or does it take away from the Knicks bench? That spark that they have, you know, guys like Quickly, for him to get involved, that Rose Quickly combination that's been working all season. Does it take away from all that? And did Tibbs make adjustments fast enough? That's another thing, because you know, a lot of rumbling from, especially from the fan bases, is Tibbs getting outcoached by McMillan. So you guys definitely know. So you guys definitely let me know what you think, and check out the link in the description below.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak though.
Man, the weather is shitty in NYC today, boy. God damn. You know, it's crazy. I thought today we would make major adjustments heading into this game. Because once again, the Hawks, just their shooting, it's not really as crazy as people think it is. Especially when you're not scoring and they just have a few buckets here and there. It looks like they're blowing you out, but they're really not. I mean, if you look at the Hawks today in that first half, their shooting wasn't as good as ours, man. Once again, they only made one more field goal than we did. Is that 13 of their field goals made was 3-point shots. But they were shooting similar to the way we were shooting. But the difference is that the Hawks spent a lot of money in the offseason. And they got guys like Brogdon, Gallinari, Lou Williams. I mean, they got all these guys that they made trades and then they had signings for. But yet, their shooting is nothing crazy. And defensively, you know, just them having Gallo and just Brogdon on the floor at the same time, especially with the combination with Trae Young, for us not to take advantage of that on the offensive end, just attacking the hoop. I mean, there was a series, I believe, in not a series, but like in a quarter in Game 2, in which we had them over the limit, I believe in the second quarter with 8 minutes left, and we still couldn't take advantage of that. I didn't see the Knicks really go through to the free throw line as often. And that was really strange. I was like, you know, why aren't we attacking the baskets? Our shots are not falling. Let's just keep attacking the hoop. We had them over the bonus, 8 minutes left in the quarter, and we still couldn't really take advantage. So I'm wondering, you know, what's not clicking right now? Because all season long, the Knicks 3-point shooting, it was up there with other teams in the league. We was at least like, you know, at least top 15, top 10. But now it's like everything has gone haywire. Now, Shy Legacy, I'm wondering with Kawhi, with the extension, did it have a deadline on it for him to sign? Like, did he have to sign either before the season started, like most of the other extensions, or if he opts out, will he make more money? Because it could just be a money issue. Because by him opting out, he could probably be guaranteed for more money. I understand today with the gloomy weather and the way this game panned out, of course, a lot of the fan base is tight. Dudes logged off of, you know, whatever social media app they use or just online in general, not to see all the, you know, the Knicks hate. But it is what it is. You have to hold your head high, you know, through hard times and good times. And most importantly, man, just understand the fan base is large and they really rock with the Knicks, man, because once again, the Sports Journal Business had reported that the Knicks had 2 times the ratings of the Brooklyn Nets. Even in this season in which we struggled in the first half of the season and things picked up at the end, we still blew the Nets out of the water with the ratings. So the fan base is strong and they really rock with the team. So you got to hold your head up high, even in hard times, man. So, don't let hard times humble you too much, But once again, phone lines are open. You guys let me know what your thoughts on tonight. I mean, I would say this afternoon. Game 4, did you think Tibbs made adjustments fast enough, I should say, or did he take too long? Because I'm surprised after game 2, there just wasn't adjustments made other than inserting Rose into the starting lineup. Because I still think that's a desperation move, because we all know that spark off the bench is what Rose really thrived at. And especially with Randall in the starting lineup, the offense kind of flowed through him. That's why he was racking up all those assists. Other guys were getting buckets according to the flow of the game, and it all kind of flowed from Randall. It's like a trickle-down effect. So once again, phone lines are open. You guys let me know what's on your thoughts.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
And with Trae Young just going off, I would say more from the aspect of just his three-point shot has been spotty. It's good one quarter, but then we seen today in the second half, he goes like in these little spurts of just chucking up long distance shots. He gets cocky. He almost gets like the same way Kobe Bryant got in that 2004 final series against the Detroit Pistons. When you get a guy, when you let him get in the zone and you make him think he could chuck up all these shots, he kind of has like a blind spot. It's like, yo, you shouldn't be shooting right now. There's another guy on your team being more efficient. And Trae Young seems to have that same blindness, because I remember Kobe even admitted that they got him with that. They let Shaq cook up in that first half, and then they would get Kobe frustrated, and then they would just let him go and let him shoot nonstop in the second half because they knew it was going to get to him. So he was going to have that kind of, blind spot where it's just like, I'm just chucking up a bunch of shots. I don't really have any self-awareness of how it's really affecting the game, and especially my other teammates. Trae Young kind of suffers from the same thing from time to time. When you start seeing him shoot those 3-point shots from half court all season long, the Knicks should just let him do that, because he'll make a few, but for the most part, he's not Stephen Curry, man. He's not as efficient as you think he is. And the Hawks, with their new coaching change halfway through the season, Nate McMillan, he definitely dialed Trae Young back from doing that shit. So that's why you see other guys starting to get more involved. They feel like, they could shoot more. You see Brogdon with the confidence he got, Gallinari. That's why they got these guys, man. They got these guys so Trae Young don't have to keep shooting nonstop. But once again, phone lines are open. And check out the description below for the number. You guys let me know what you think. And when it comes to Trae Young, he's definitely doing his thing, but he's nothing. This Hawks team is nothing crazy. They're not really blowing people out the water, because this team should be further along than what they are. They got their, top draft pick. They spent a lot of money in the offseason. Us Knicks, we're nowhere even near that. Of course, we got a top pick in RJ Barrett, but we're still trying to figure things out. We got a bunch of guys on one-year deals. That's why I'm saying hold your heads up high, because the Hawks, as far as, where they're at in their rebuilding phase, they're a lot further than where we're at. We're in the very early stages. But that's why I say, when I see Trae Young going off and people think that the Hawks are nicer than what they really are, something in my head just goes like, these games are a little bit too close for us to be shooting as poorly as we are, with RJ Barrett and Randall not shooting good, but yet these games are still kind of close. Something is just not right.
Mama's cooking and spices is in my goddamn ear. It's like she done reached down and rubbed some cayenne pepper on the back of my ear. And just something ain't sitting right.
Yeah, especially if you look at I believe game 1 and 2, particularly the first 3 quarters of game 2. Trae Young was definitely doing his thing, but his team just wasn't really up by much. Especially in game 2, after that first quarter, I believe they were only up by 7 points. And we were shooting like 29%. So once again, that shit, it should trigger something in your head. It's like, okay, if we just get production from our 1A and our 1B guy, we should be way ahead of this team in a way. Especially defensively, we're a lot better than this team, even though they have Capella and John Collins. Well, John Collins doesn't even play defense like that. Today, he played a really good defensive game, but he's not really known for playing defense at all. So once again, I believe, it's a combination of us just having these one-year guys, these one-year deal guys, and, them not being used to that playoff type intensity and just lacking confidence, because this Hawks team is just, they should be a lot further along than where they're at. But it all starts with Randall. Randall has to be more confident than how he's been in the last 2 games. I would say game 4 today, he was definitely more confident. He looked more assertive than he did in the first 3 games. But it is what it is. You guys let me know what you think. Once again, phone lines are open. And let me know what's on your mind.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Oh shit, there's one guy I forgot to mention that's killing it for us, man. Low key. I can't believe I forgot this guy, man. This shit just kind of rang through my head. I'm fucking bugging. But Taj Gibson, Fort Greene, Brooklyn legend. This guy has definitely came through in this series for us, man. I'm surprised. We squeezing those Kurt Thomas, Marcus Camby type minutes out of him, man. Just that last ditch effort, man. Yo, Taj Gibson has been on the boards everywhere. And especially in game 2, he helped us out rebound this team, just being annoying, especially down low. But yeah, but shout out to Taj Gibson. And also, I'm wondering if having him in the starting lineup also takes away from that bench. Because now, the bench doesn't have Gibson or D Rose coming off of it. So the dynamics pretty much switched up. And especially when you combine the ankle situation of Nerlens Noel playing on those limited minutes, you got to ask yourself, like, where's our spark really coming from? But yeah, man, Taj Gibson just looking like Kurt Thomas out there, just a Knicks ultimate vet. Like he's competing for Kurt Thomas's legendary status as that reliable vet, man. He's looking like he might retire after the game due to exhaustion. But, in this game, similar to game 3, and game 3 was really bad because everyone outside of Derrick Rose was 16 of 60. That's crazy. 16 of 60. And in game 3, we were down by 15 for most of the game. But once again, when you're shooting poorly like that, not getting any points from your 1A or 1B guy, aka Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, you're just getting points out of Rose, which he should be like our C guy, especially coming off the bench playing about 25 minutes max. It's just, that's what I'm saying. Trae Young dropping all those points, like, how is it really helping the Hawks? And what kind of defense is the Hawks really playing? I feel like their defense is really just relying on the Knicks just missing open shots. I mean, that was pretty much the knack that the rest of the league, especially a lot of analysts throughout the league, they said that the Knicks defense was overrated because opponents were just missing shots. But then towards the end of the season, they started realizing, now this defense is for real. But I feel like in this series, the Hawks sort of have that same reputation because they're not really known for their defense. They were actually at the bottom of the league this season as far as defensive efficiency. So once again, it's just, we're pretty much our own worst enemy in this series. But once again, everything trickles down through Julius Randle. And when I saw Derrick Rose game 3 start and just the way, he controlled the offense, I was always wondering, like, man, I don't think Randle can get going with him on the floor like that. And I don't think the same way Randle was racking up those 11 assists per game during the regular season, I didn't think other guys were going to get involved like that. And that's when I knew Tibbs was pretty much in a desperate move to shake things up. But surprisingly, the Knicks bench in game 3 was a lot better. They were the ones actually holding the Knicks down. But in this game 4, that wasn't pretty much the case. But once again, phone lines are open. It'd be great to hear from you guys, in the game 4 recap, and especially, the other topics we have on the docket tonight regarding the Clips Mavericks series, the Knicks outdoing the Brooklyn Nets on the TV ratings, and your thoughts on Derrick Rose starting. Does he take away from the bench? Once again, phone lines are open. Check out the number in the description below or on the group chat. And you guys let me know what you think, and don't be afraid to drop your 2 cents.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Yeah, I agree. May 4th. The only issue with Kawhi Leonard, I'm wondering what's his real issue with his injury. Because I know the Clippers and even the Toronto Raptors, they know something about him regarding that injury because things are very secretive around that. Kawhi's always hurt. He's been hurt for a number of years now. And it seems like he can only play in spurts. Yes, Derrick Rose, I wouldn't say he's a horrible point guard, but he's not a guy that's going to get other guys going like that. He's, I believe, who was he with in Chicago? He was partnered up with somebody at the guard level during those MVP years. I don't want to say it was Kirk Heinrich. I want to say it was somebody else. There was somebody else sort of kind of responsible for the pace and just controlling the game outside of Rose. I don't really remember it. But if one of you guys know, you could put it in the group chat. But there was definitely a classic type point guard in Chicago during Derrick Rose's MVP years that kind of controlled the pace. That's why I'm saying in game 3, when I saw Tibbs start Derrick Rose, and then just the way the game started, you saw everything flow through Derrick Rose as far as the offensive, just the offensive game plan. I knew not only Randle was going to struggle in this game, because that's not the thing that made us successful all season. All season was give the ball to Randle up top and then he quickly made a decision on what to do. Either he attacked the hoop, or he made a pass, or he attacked the hoop, made something happen, drew a double team, and he made another pass. Because Randall this season was efficient as fuck. Surprisingly, it's a completely 180 from his early Laker days, where he just held the ball too long and he just turned it over. He sort of looked like how he looks like now in the playoffs. But this season was nothing like that. He was taking efficient shots. He wasn't turning the ball over like that. I mean, I think Randall led the league in isolation plays, but yet he put up crazy efficiency numbers with high assist averages. So this is the success of the 2000. Well, I won't say 2000, of the 2020/2021 Knicks, is having everything flow through Randall. And that's what I'm saying. In game 3, when I saw Derrick Rose start, we just completely got away from that. Okay, Anthony, I see the Frank Hive is in here. Definitely, there was a game this season where Frank locked up Trae Young. I remember Trae Young had a bunch of turnovers, especially in the fourth quarter. He just looked flustered, man. And definitely Frank got in his ass. But at the end of the day, in this series, when we're struggling to score, I feel like in this series, we're our own worst enemy, because the Hawks are not doing nothing crazy offensively. Even in this game 4, they kind of, blew things away in the fourth quarter. But when you look at like the first 3 quarters, especially the first 2 quarters, their shooting wasn't nothing crazy. They were just hitting more 3-pointers. But us, we on top of that, we were just missing shots. We wasn't doing shit. And you can even look at the first 2 games. We weren't doing anything offensively. No production from Julius or RJ. And then the rest of the team shooting like 29, 28% for the first 2 games. It was like a deja vu with game 1 and game 2 as far as the whole team shooting 28, 29%, but we're only down by like 10, 11 points. Yeah, that last play in game 1 to have Frank, I'm surprised he put Frank in that game. The last play where Trae Young made that little floater in game 1 to take the lead, to take the 2-point lead. Because if you look at who he made the floater on, he made the floater on Frank, which I don't think Frank was up to game speed at the moment. And then he also made that floater on Taj Gibson. So you see, like, I think under a normal, healthy circumstance, he would have to make that floater on someone else, not Frank, but he would also have to make it over Mitch or Nerlens Noel. Because I believe that's the game where Nerlens Noel ankle got messed up at. He had that high ankle sprain in game 1. So if you look at Trae Young, he completely annihilated someone that just wasn't really warmed up. And also he made his shot over a guy that's almost a 20-year vet. But normally if that was Mitch, even if Trae Young did his stutter step and try to fake it and then try to do a quick floater, Mitch's reach is insane, and his hopping skills, he would have created some sort of barrier for him to get that shot either deflected or just him angle it differently and it end up bricking. So, but a lot of people don't really mention that. They mention Frank being put in at the end of the game, but Trae Young had made the play over Taj Gibson and Frank. And I think if the Knicks were 100% healthy, I don't think he would have been making the play over those 2 guys. It probably would have been over Nerlens Noel and Mitchell Robinson. He would have to do something with them 2 in the way. Yeah, May 4th, you're gonna have to explain that. How does Tibbs use the bench more properly? Because I feel like this season he squeezed all the juice he could out of those oranges, man. Because we're talking about he used Taj Gibson, Derrick Rose. He got rid of what's his name? Dennis Smith Jr. You know, he used the players that he could, and he got the Knicks to a 4th seed. So I should say, he did properly use the bench. I just think he didn't make any adjustments in the playoffs. Or, due to Randall's poor play, he didn't really have that much options. Man, Spellman's always out of shape. Spellman been in the league too long out of shape. I've never seen no shit like that. He's on some Michael Sweetney type shit. That's a major red flag. Yeah, you can't get too gun hold on role players, because at the end of the day, whatever decision Tibbs and Leon Rose made this season, they still got the team to a 4th seed. So it's not like you're talking about marquee players that were going to come in and make a major difference. But once again, the phone lines are open. Check out the link in the description below. We're talking about the Knicks Hawks Game 4 recap. We're also talking about Derrick Rose, him starting in the lineup. Did it have a trickle-down effect on the bench and just, the offense in general for the starters? Because everything this season has flowed through Julius Randle, and it's proved to be very successful. And also we're going to talk about the Clippers and Mavericks series. Should Leon Rose pay very close attention to that if things begin to go left, to make a move possibly for Paul George or Kawhi? And we're also going to talk about, has New York City spoken on their favorite team? As the Sports Business Journal have reported that the Knicks have twice the ratings of the Brooklyn Nets this season. So once again, phone lines are open. You guys let me know what you think. Check out the description below.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Yo, you think it's Tibbs May 4th, you think it's Tibbs redemption tour? Tibbs been having a redemption tour for quite some time now, man. He likes that old thing, man. He tried to do the same thing in Minnesota. Try to get Jimmy Butler down there. He definitely has, his players that he likes. But I can't front, man. Everywhere he's been, once he leaves that place, the most success that team has had was with Tibbs. You look at Chicago, they never had success since. You look at Minnesota, they made the playoffs. They never made the playoffs since. So everywhere Tibbs is gone, I'm yet to see that place become more successful without him. Yo, Debris, I'm thinking that RJ Barrett right now and Julius Randle, they're in a kind of a sweet spot where the Knicks right now, they don't really have to kind of go back to the draft and get a 19-year-old, 18-year-old to come in, sort of like a deer in the headlights, don't know what's really going on. they're sort of in a sweet spot right now where they need more polished players around them. You know, teams kind of get to a point where even though they have top picks and players start hopping into year 3, 4, you can't keep going back in the draft and drafting young players. Look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, for example. They got Karl Anthony Towns, but yet they're still picking 19-year-olds first overall. There comes a point where, you know, that player no longer needs those type of young guys around him. He needs a more polished, more mid-tier polished vet around him. A guy age 25, 26, 27. You look at Randall, I think Randall will be 26 next year or 27. These guys need more polished players around them. The Knicks in the draft, I mean, first of all, you know, the draft is a crap shot. And second of all, you know, these guys, the position that they're in right now, the next level they're looking at, they don't need a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds coming in looking like a deer in the headlights. So drafting a young point guard, maybe a guy off the bench, but as far as like drafting a guy, I would say the Knicks have a better chance of just trying to get a guy at this point. Yo, what's up with you guys and the D League guys? Yeah, this Jared Harper thing, you know, the D League or the G League guys, it's rare, man. It's rare, but I believe some of these guys are good, but teams got to take a more of a chance on some of these guys. I don't know if there's like a pigeonhole politics where guys coming off the G League don't really get, you know, looks like that because they came off the G League, but there are some success stories. But Jared Harper, I wouldn't get too stronghold on guys coming off the G League. I mean, the most recent successful story about the G League, I think it's what's his name? The guy up in Toronto, Fred VanVleet. He came up off the D League / G League now. So, but it's rare. I think Jimmy Butler too. Jimmy Butler is another G League guy. But Tibbs is the type of person, like, he'll find somebody down under. If they're playing that good, they fit into a system, he'll bring them up. But yeah, once again, just the Knicks in the draft. I mean, at a point we're gonna have to get over that because we're not at that position anymore. In the start of the season, we sort of looked towards the 2021 draft, but now because the way we finished and we seen the level that Randall could possibly get up to, and then RJ maturing, I'm not sure putting a young 18, 19-year-old starting guy next to them is the next move. Once again, we don't want these guys to sort of end up the way Karl Anthony Towns is ending up. You know, he's almost in year, I don't know what year he's in. He's almost in year 6, 7, and he's still playing with 19-year-old first overall picks. That shit, after a certain age, that shit don't work for those players. They can't play with those guys because everybody's, you know, 18, 19-year-old guy, man, they're trying to make an impact in the league. They're trying to win Rookie of the Year. They're trying to win individual awards. You know, after a certain point, guys 6, 7 years in, even 4 years in, you know, they want to start winning games. Oh, TJ McConnell. Whatever happened to that guy? Yeah, he's like the old steady point guard. And he could shoot threes. Is he still in the league? He actually would work out a lot better now in the league. I remember he would come out of nowhere and just have these games where he would just go off. I think he played for the Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah, May 4th. I just think the Knicks are going to go more towards the free agency route or just try to work out some deals. I'm telling you, if that Clippers series goes left, don't be surprised if the Knicks work out a deal. And I wouldn't be too surprised if they even package RJ Barrett in that deal. I wouldn't want that to happen, but I don't put anything, past Leon Rose, man. Because one thing he's proven in a short time he's been here, he can work out some deals. The way he was swapping picks here and there, talking to this team, three-way trade here and there, this guy got connections, man. He's talking to everybody. He's seeing what's what. Oh, you need this? Oh, okay, I know someone else that needs that. But yet the media has no idea what the fuck the Knicks are doing. So they're keeping everything in-house and they got connections. I'm telling you, man, something's got to be cooking up. Yeah, the Knicks, I'm surprised this offseason because there was a lot of three-point shooters available, especially at the small forward position. But the Knicks didn't bite into none of them. I'm surprised the Hawks got two of them, and that's Brogdon and Gallo. I thought the Knicks were gonna snag at least one of them, but at the end of the day, the Hawks got both of them, and it's proven right now that's what's pretty much biting us in the ass. And that's why I keep telling you guys, the Hawks are at a different place than we are. They should be a lot further ahead than their record and just the way they play against us. I don't understand how they spent all that money and they have their star point guard, but yet it's not really, you can't really tell the difference between both teams. You can't say one team is way better than the other, which says a lot about them more than us. Yeah, debris about Alfred Payton. He's just suffering from being a old school point guard. I did a video on that. There's a lot of point guards in the league right now. They're sort of the classic point guards, sort of like the Jason Kidd types, and they're gonna have to, just like Jason Kidd did, develop a three-point shot. They can't just look to set up guys because most guys in today's NBA, even the centers, they can square up and just cross guys over and just, shoot over guys. Everyone has that skill set. They could sort of, dribble, dance, and get their own shot off. And guys like Alfred Payton, they're kind of struggling to find a place in today's league. It's strange because the whole game is different now. Even the way, if you look at it, the way they count assists is different in today's NBA. Guys can throw the ball to someone. They could do a whole move and get a jump shot off, and they're counting these shits as assists. So it's a different league right now. A lot of guys are struggling to find a place. I think one of the last classic point guards to actually, last a good minute is Chris Paul, because his skill set is very versatile and he could shoot. But he's one of these classic point guards. But at the same time, Chris Paul has always had a jump shot. He can always create for himself. That's where Alfred Payton is lacking. So just him, expecting to set guys up. Guys are not really expecting a point guard to fully set them up. It's just, I'm in my position. Pass me the ball real quick. I can get him with this crossover. And I got this jump shot off the crossover that I always go to. And it's almost a guarantee for me. Yeah, the Hawks had May 4th. The Hawks had 2 different seasons this year. Definitely they were struggling with their other head coach. I believe Nate McMillan was their assistant coach because he got fired. I don't know why last year off of that Indiana situation, even though they didn't have Victor Oladipo for almost 2 years, and they were still able to be in the middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference. But that's a discussion for another day. But at the end of the day, like, he came in for the second half of the season, he had the Hawks become a completely different team. The Knicks were able to defeat the Hawks anyway, even after they started, getting in stride. But the Hawks were dealing with a lot of injuries. Cam Reddish, Capella was in and out the lineup. They had guys with the pandemic issue. They caught the sickness, and the Hawks still kind of fought through that and still finished in the middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference. So that's why I in my video before the series had started, I had mentioned that the Knicks defeated the Hawks 3-0, but it doesn't really tell the full story. Oh yeah, and Rondo, man, Rondo is weird. Ever since he left Boston, he went to Dallas. He was going to a bunch of different teams. Rajon Rondo, he's sort of like that veteran where he can make the crucial plays down the stretch like he did for the Lakers last year in the finals, but he's not playing with a bunch of young guys. There's major politics in the NBA with veteran players, especially having guys like Trae Young just chuck up a bunch of shots, play very inefficient. Guys like Rondo don't want to sit behind guys like that. But of course, the Hawks choosing Trae Young as high as they did in the draft, they're always going to give Trae Young the respect off of rip and the, cachet over Rondo. Even though a few years ago in the NBA, I would say like maybe in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, young players, even though they came in and everyone knew they were going to be good, they still had to earn their respect. Today in the NBA, the respect is kind of given off rip until you prove yourself that you're not really worth the respect. It's weird. But that started happening when Carmelo and LeBron came into the NBA. Guys started automatically getting credit. It's weird. It's like once they came in, the NBA started changing a bit. They started, kind of anointing guys the superstar status without them really even earning it yet. I don't know if the Knicks are a good fit for Rondo because a guy like Rajon Rondo, you just need him for certain spurts, certain parts of the season. And that's, really when you're making a long playoff push. Rondo ain't doing nothing crazy. Let's be honest. He's proven to be a headache. He's had too many issues on too many teams. But once again, phone lines are open. The link is in the description below. We're talking about the Knicks, the Hawks, the Game 4 recap. We're also talking about Derrick Rose being inserted to the starting lineup, having a trickle-down effect on the bench guys and also Julius Randle in his game in the starting lineup. Like, everything with the Knicks this season has proven successful with Randle being the facilitator offensively, especially to get other guys in rhythm according to the flow of the game. And we're also going to talk about the Clippers-Mavericks series. Should the Knicks, especially Leon Rose, pay close attention to it in case it goes left to possibly make a move for Kawhi or Paul George? And we're also going to talk about the NBA TV ratings. The Knicks have reportedly have doubled the ratings that the Nets did this season. So has New York City spoken on who's their savior? So once again, phone lines are open. You guys let me know what you think. And don't be afraid to drop your 2 cents.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Yes, sir. Leon Rose definitely has something brewing up. He definitely has something brewing up, but it's crazy because no one knows nothing, man. I'm telling you, the way Walt Clyde Frazier in one of these games, he was talking about the Knicks, front office. He was like, yo, you barely seen these guys. He was almost like he was talking about himself. He was like, no one even seen how they really even look like because they were presenting I believe the award to Julius Randle or the announcer that got introduced to the Hall of Fame. They actually showed up and you saw Leon Rose, Worldwide West, and Walt Clyde Frazier seemed like he was like, wow, I finally see these guys. It's like, wow, like they're really keeping shit in house. So once again, the media is just kind of out of the loop with what the Knicks are doing. And if you look at you can go look at some of the videos of some of the Knicks season preview for this season that just happened. A lot of these analysts, when it came to the Knicks, they really had nothing to say. There was like, the Knicks just made a couple moves, but they had no future prediction. They just didn't really know what to think. They knew the moves were solid, but they had no idea what was the plan. Like, they were just kind of dumbfounded. And that's how I know, like, Leon Rose is definitely keeping things in-house, sort of like Rob Pelinka and the Lakers, and sort of like the Golden State Warriors, because everyone knows they have something brewing up, especially after the way Stephen Curry performed this season. They definitely got something brewing up. They got assets to trade, and Klay Thompson coming back. They're going to make a push because these guys are, at least in the last 4 years, are possibly making a run to a championship. So Golden State definitely is going to make a move. So Leon Rose and the Knicks, they're sort of operating the same way. They're operating within the shadows. But once again, phone lines are open. The link is in the description below. You guys definitely let me know what you think on your Game 4 recap. Just what you think about what happened in this game. And definitely hold your heads up high, man. There's no reason to be ashamed. Definitely the Hawks, they're a good team, but they're kind of set up to be in the position that they're in because due to the fact that they spent a lot of money this past offseason, and we have a lot of cap space left. We have a lot of guys on 1-year deals. We're sort of in the early to middle stages of rebuilding. So, but it is what it is. We put up a fight, and there's not really a major gap between us and the Hawks. So that really says a lot, and it says more about the Hawks and how much they're lacking. So once again, phone lines are open. You guys let me know what you think, and don't be afraid to drop your 2 cents.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Yeah, just looking at Taj Gibson here, man. He's definitely been cooking up, man. Like, I'm surprised that Tibbs is getting all these minutes out of Gibson. Even out of Rose. Just Rose can't do what he used to do consistently. And I'm hoping the next game Rose at least goes to the bench. And since Randall has shown signs of getting back to where he's at, where he normally is at, as far as making quick decisions, Knicks can go back to the original formula that's been proven to work all season. And also John Collins, this guy hasn't really done anything all series. Surprisingly, this is a 20-10 guy for the Hawks, and they don't really involve him as much as you think that they should, because if you look at John Collins, especially for a guy that's really the 1B to Trae Young, they don't really run plays for him like that. If you look at today's game or just overall the whole series, John Collins, he easily gets into foul trouble. He's not really that much of a good defender. And in game 4, he got going. He got going big time. And that's one of the things that killed us. In game 3, it was pretty much the Hawks bench. They had 7 guys in double figures. And in game 4 today, it's pretty much a combination of guys shooting a lot of free throws, which bailed them out of the bad shooting. Once again, the Hawks in game 4 did not shoot as well. That's how we were shooting really horribly, and we were also fouling the shit out of them. That's why there was a major gap in the score, particularly at halftime. But if you looked at the halftime stats, they only had 1 more field goal made than we did. So they mostly had a combination of 3-point shooting. They had 13 3-point shots made at half. And they had a combination of just them shooting a bunch of free throws because we kept fouling them. But once again, John Collins, he had his way in this game. And it's kind of I don't know if it's, just Taj Gibson getting played too many minutes, because these guys are getting offensive rebounds like a motherfucker. I mean, I don't really get that, but it is what it is. It's always the minor things that's getting us. But once again, phone lines are open. I'll leave them open for about 20 more minutes. You guys let me know what you think. The number is in the description below.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Once again, phone lines are open. I'll be glad to hear from you guys, or you could drop some info in the group chat. I'll leave things open for about 20 more minutes. Once again, we're talking about the Game 4 recap. Also, the Clippers-Mavs series. Should Leon Rose pay very close attention to that and make a move if that series goes left for the Clippers? We're also going to talk about Derrick Rose and his insertion to the starting lineup. Does it have a trickle effect on the Knicks bench? And also, does it disrupt sort of the free-flowing offense that was going through Julius Randle? Once again, phone lines are open. Check out the link in the description below. And you guys let me know what you think.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Once again, phone lines are open. I'll leave them open for a few more minutes. You guys definitely let me know what you think, or just drop a comment in the chat box. And don't be afraid to drop your 2 cents.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Once again, I'll leave the phone lines open for a few more minutes. Definitely, you guys check out the link in the description below for the call-in info. And don't be afraid to drop your 2 cents. Let me know what's on your mind.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
All right, this will be the end of the live stream. And definitely, you guys definitely check out the YouTube channel, the playlist page. There's other videos pertaining to stuff around the league. And also, you can see all the other videos organized about the Knicks the whole season, or just other things pertaining to the NBA, like my show NBA Moments Pivoted, where we look at historical annals of times of the NBA involving championship teams over the years. We'll do a breakdown of that. And also, I have a series called Chopping the Sticks, where we just talk about things involved in culture, business, music. You could definitely check that out in the playlist below. Definitely, you guys stay safe, and I'll check you for Game 5. So it is what it is. Until next time, you guys stay safe. Peace.